Okay, getting ready to put all this stuff back together after we got on time in the engine. One thing I did go ahead and get while I was ordering parts and stuff was a new PCV valve. Can you hear that? You can hear that rattling around. That's a quick, easy test. See, that thing moves around in there. The old one, nothing. So it is bad. It's gummed up and everything. You know, this is a PCV valve, positive crankcase ventilation valve. Basically vents the, you know, everybody has a different version of this. BMW uses a crankcase venting system. It's a lot larger system with a diaphragm and a bunch of hoses and stuff. But they're all meant to do the same thing. Basically, when pressure builds up in the crankcase, it vents it back through to the intake and burns it up and stuff, so that you know you don't have overpressurized and the seals and stuff like that. If these go bad, that's when you start getting a bunch of leaks and stuff like that, or it can cause leaks and different things. Actually, I'm not sure about on these. On a BMW, if the crankcase vent valve starts to go bad, the diaphragm in there rips or something like that, you can start getting mixture too lean faults actually. So you know, it's always a good idea to check these every once in a while. And you know, some of them you can clean out, some of them you know they're cheap enough you can usually replace. I mean, I think this one here is actually, for a plastic one, is like $5, a little more expensive than what I'm used to, but you know, they are relatively inexpensive for what they do. So definitely a good idea to replace those. So we're getting ready to put the valve covers back on. I'm going to leave the, with some advice I got from some comments stuff, some guys that have done this, I'm going to leave the spark plugs out for now, so we can build up some oil pressure when we get ready to start the engine. I'm going to leave a lot more of this open than I did before. As far as all of the cowl and stuff will be off. I'll basically have the engine sealed, spark plugs out, fuel pump relay or fuse or something like that out, so that you know we don't have any combustion whatsoever, and then we'll build up some oil pressure. So let's get to it. Okay, so I went ahead and put the valve covers on. You know, I put in the new PCV valve, put the valve covers on with new gaskets. I put a little bit of RTV on the corners right in here. Anytime it changes the direction with the gasket or something, I like to put a little bit of Honda or a little RTV of some sort on there. Excuse me. Connect the hose, the breather hose between the two. You're supposed to tighten them in 2 stages. It's pretty much. I mean, you can start kind of either one of these, but do like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just to give you kind of a pattern. It doesn't have to be exactly that way. You can start here and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not going to matter, but that concept. And it wants to do it in 2 stages. First one's between 9 and 26 inch-pounds, and the second one's 65 to 82 inch-pounds. So just somewhere in that neighborhood. So I put those on. I went ahead and laid my new gasket on here. And, well, my Felpro head gasket kit came with that gasket, which is just rubber, and this one, which is metal. Okay? And if you come over here and look at the intake here, this is basically, it'll change the length of the runners and stuff in here, vacuum actuated. And this one is a rubber one that goes around here, not a metal one, and the other one is rubber, but the one that goes along the length of the runner, it is rubber, but it's not made like that. So I'm not sure what they were trying to do with that, but they do not work. I wonder if you can see it from in here. I'm not going to take it back apart, but well, you can kind of see it right there. See that orange gasket? That's what it's supposed to be, but it's not made the way it's supposed to be, so I won't be replacing that. So I went ahead and I pulled off this shield here. Right in here is 3 2mm bolts, so I could clean the end of where the EGR gasket was. What this is just a tube that runs to the intake, right? The whole purpose of EGR system is exhaust gas recirculation. So any unburned gases in the exhaust system, it vents it back through the intake, so it can burn it up for emissions. There's a lot of problems with that, because when you take a hot gas and put it through a cold intake again, it turns to carbon. And they got this plate there, you take it off and you got all these little ports you can pull out, and you can clean this whole thing in case you start getting EGR faults. I don't know if these are prone to that or not. I looked down in there. It's not a whole lot of buildup, and it's not perfect, but I'm not going to stop and take the time to do all that. It's not bad enough that I think it'll be an issue anytime soon. And if it is, it's just the intake on the top. It's fairly easy to get to. So I just want to show you that. We're going to put this back on. We'll go ahead and put that back on. And I'll start putting this stuff back over here together. And at some point here, I'll go ahead and throw the front timing cover on. Got a few more gaskets. Throttle body. That's the one that goes down for the over there, the intake, where the intake splits off there, goes into 2 tubes and then comes over here into 1. That's the one that goes on the end over there. And of course, like I said, the throttle body, I'll replace that one. This is a thermostat housing gasket. I already did it once, but I'm gonna do it again because it kind of has a, you see the surface on there? It's like a felt gasket, but then it has like a sticky kind of gas material on there. Once you crush it, it's done. EGR gasket. And like I said, those two are useless. Thank you, Felpro. I've been fairly happy with their gasket set, but that one, and then there's a lot of gasket stuff that I did not have that you need. You know, I'd take a good look at a diagram. All the O-rings in here I showed you guys, the 6 back behind this one, the 2 in here, the 2 collared ones that go for the front of the cam covers. Where are they at? These little guys. They're collared with an O-ring on it. Where are those covers at? Oh, we'll find them here shortly. They're probably under here. They are those guys. They go on the front of the timing cover. They're going there to seal, and those weren't there. It's just, it had some stuff missing. So it gave me the Valkyrie gaskets, but it did not give me the spark plug tube seals. These kind that go over like these are, where they're kind of like pressed in, they don't always go bad. Like those you don't have to always replace. If I've got them, I would have, and if I'd known it wouldn't come with them, I would have ordered them. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. So anyway, we're just gonna keep going back together here, guys, and knock this thing out. Okay, so I kind of changed modes here. I was, you know, as you saw before, I had the Valkyries on. I was getting ready to put the intake and everything on. I decided to hold off on that because I'm gonna pull the wiring loom and everything back, but I didn't want it in the way for my timing cover. So I went ahead and did the timing cover. As I saw on another guy's YouTube channel, 2012 Nugget, he pointed out that you can use a small Allen key in the grooves on the timing cover to clean those little grooves out. Works great. Check out his site as well, and you can see what he did on his. It was a very good idea. So anyway, I got all this cleaned out, put my RTV on there, slid it in there. Something I'm going to point out here is it's tricky. If there's no trick to it, I'd love to know it, and he may know it. But this stud here, when you go to remove this, it just screws into the block, but it goes through the timing covers. It's part of the engine mount. Well, to get that in and out, it goes dead into this. You the way I had to do it was lower the timing cover in there and then lower it farther than I was supposed to, and slide that up in there, and then kind of work it around until I could get it lined up with the hole it's supposed to go into, and then kind of push it on. It was actually kind of a pain, to be honest with you, and it fought me a little bit, but it's on there now. So anyway, do that. You know, then there's 22 bolts on the front cover. Number 1 and number 2 are the 12 millimeters M8s, and all the rest of them are M6 10 millimeters. And the torque procedure for those, you just go through and you do them in the order it shows right here. And it's let's see, what was it? It's 21 foot-pounds for the 2 M8s, the bottom bolts, and then the rest of them are 9 foot-pounds. And it's supposed to go through and torque them, and then torque them a second time, just like we did the rear cover. And don't forget, right past these right here, this is where the O-rings are supposed to go. Don't forget to put those O-rings in there. Just put those on, put this on. You know, I went ahead and torqued all that down. So I've got that done. Let's see. Have I done anything else? No, I fought with this up here for a little while, so I haven't really done a whole lot else. I'm getting ready to put the covers on for the cams here, and what also feeds the oil through into the IVT solenoids, or the solenoids feed it through here. I'm not sure which, but anyway, these are little collared seals I was talking about before. It's a metal collar with a seal on it, and those just slide in right here. One right there and one in the back. Make sure you have those guys. You know, I mean, I recommend replacing them. I mean, stuff like that, I always replace stuff like that. So, and then we're gonna get these guys out. let's see. All right, so we got to put this is the groove I'm talking about. You can take and run, you know, a small Allen that just fits in there, and it pulls all that stuff out. Real nice, all the old silicone. So, I need to put some Honda bond around that. I'm not going to seal out here, of course. That's what the other seal's for, the little collar seal. We're going to put those two on, put all the bolts in, torque those down, and we're just going to start putting the accessories back on over here. I'm going to go ahead and finally finish up this side, and then see what I can do over here. So. We're getting there slowly but surely. Alright, so I've gotten quite a bit done here. I should have probably stopped and got some video, but you guys seen it all coming apart, so you know, I wanted to show you what we did. Anyway, I went ahead and bolted down the covers for the routing, oil routing for the IVTs and into the cam. I've got the engine mount on, I've got the power steering pump. That power steering pump is a bitch. I hope the engineer that designed that, I hope he is homeless at this point, because he sucks. And that was a pain in the ass to get to. You know, if it was on a lift, it'd be a lot easier, but even still, the design of that to put like a, it's got like a bushing sleeve kind of thing built into the block, I guess, just like you would normally see on a, well, I'm not going to say normally. On BMW, alternators are like that. But it comes off with the alternator, so you can go and just put that into a vise, put the socket on one side, and squeeze it right back out. You can't get anything in there to squeeze on that thing. And it's a pain. So, I mean, I got it, you know, but it really sucks. There's probably some easier way or something, but I hope that engineer's out of a job. I really do. Man, sometimes they really don't think about the technician or the person working on the car, and it drives me crazy. You know, if they had to work on these, then they would probably do things a lot differently. But anyway, enough from me going on and on. We've got the thermostat housing on, we've got the alternator on, we've got the tensioner on, we've got the AC compressor on. I brought my wiring loom back over. I've got all the bolts tightened down, holding all these pieces on. I've hooked up all my injectors. Got everything laid back down. There's my O2 sensor. Routed all this stuff back down and clipped all that back in. I found two more bolts that I still had loose off of the bracket for the EGR valve. So I hooked that up. I still got a couple loose things here because I haven't done this side of the intake stuff yet. Excuse me. But, you know, we're down here. We've got all of those bolts in. That godforsaken thing's on. Banjo bolts tight and crushed. I've got don't forget the bolts for the lower part of the timing cover. They're up in the oil pan. I've already done those. And then for the back part, there's one up in there, and then there's another one right there, right over there. So, and then I've got the oil pan up. Make sure you clean all those mating surface off, stuff like that. Let's see. I've got to hook some of these wires up here. Now, originally I was going to have all the spark plugs out and turn the engine over and build up some oil pressure, but I laid the intake over right here, and I'm not exactly sure how that bolt's the only one that worried me. That bolt right there for that number one piston coil on number one cylinder, I don't know how that would have come out. It was up under the intake just slightly, so I went ahead and put those three in just so I ain't got to get back in there and worry about it. I'm not too worried about it building up compression due to the fact that it's not, I'm going to have the fuel disabled. So, not too worried about that. I will leave the front ones out just to, you know, for whatever reason. But I went ahead and put those in. I'm going to put the intake on, finish sealing what we got left, put the battery and everything back in, the radiator, the fan, put the box down over here, my little electronics box here with some, you know, it's got some different fuses and stuff in there, fuse panel. Finish connecting the wiring. We're getting close. This is, man, this job takes a long time. Especially when you go as deep as I did. So, if you don't ever have to do that, don't. Because it does suck. So, anyway, we're almost there. Just wanted to get you up on where I was at. And hopefully we'll be fired up here within an hour. Okay, so I got a little bit more done. I'll show you what I got done. Oh shit, what happened? Oh, yeah, I've already taken it for a test drive. It's running beautifully, finally. I am super excited to see that right there. There is my horribly messy garage that I am going to be happy to get in order finally, hang my shelves, and I actually feel like I moved in finally. So, you guys saw all the stuff coming apart. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message or something. I'll be happy to answer anything I can for you, or get you some pictures, some repair instructions if you need them. But you saw it come apart, so you pretty much know what I'm doing going back together. Little tricks here and there that I'm sure some of you know that I don't. There's some that I found that worked okay. So hopefully that's going to last her quite a while, and hopefully I don't have to see it again for a little while, or at least not in my garage. So anyway, I hope you guys can find some of the stuff useful, and you know, thanks for bearing with me. This is quite a pain, but we got through it. Everything's good now, and like I said, I hope it lasts a long time for her. I really do. So anyway, like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know.